What up, everyone? Time for another box. Time for another review. So we got one of our last boxes of the month, Arcade Block. So this one usually always shows up at the very beginning of the next month that you order it. So this is March's box, but it showed up like right at the beginning of April. No big deal, but just something to keep in mind. So let's just jump right in, see what we got. So this month we had a double t-shirt month. 2 t-shirts in one box, which they make seem like a good thing, but I'm not that big of a fan of it. There's nothing wrong with t-shirts. I'm sure lots of people like them. I kind of have a problem with them sometimes because they're just always such poor quality, but that's besides the point. I'm not always a big fan of double t-shirt months because that just is a little bit less creativity put into that box. There's just a little bit less effort put into it. Not a big deal, not really complaining or anything, just making a side comment, so just wanted to put that out there, but not a big deal though. So the first shirt I got is from The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. So this shirt was okay, it fit okay. It's the Gildan brand, but it's the soft style one, so it's actually soft. So it didn't fit super, but at least it's not super rough. So at least it's actually a soft quality material. And the design on this is okay. I kind of liked it, but then I saw the card that came with it and all the other cool Ocarina of Time and Legend of Zelda shirts that I could have gotten, and those ones were so much cooler. I always see the cool shirts on the card, and I always get the lamer one. This shirt wasn't lame per se, but I definitely like the other designs on the card more. But this one was pretty cool. I'm a fan of Legend of Zelda, and I think this is a pretty cool design, and it fit decently. So that's a pretty cool shirt. I don't mind that. Alrighty, now for the next shirt. Now this one I had a little more of a problem with. So this, let's take a look. Alrighty, so it says Radio Free Kairat Rabi Ray Rana. So I'm gonna go on a little rant here for just a tad, just a little bit of time. So this is the reason why I haven't subscribed to Horror Block, and this is also the reason why I was very hesitant at first to subscribe to Arcade Block. So I didn't get this reference. I've never played Far Cry, let alone Far Cry 4. I've just never played the game, so I'm not familiar at all with the characters. And I know it's a pretty popular game, and I don't know anything about it. So this is my problem. This is why I was very hesitant to subscribe to Arcade Block to begin with, because you know, I love video games. Who doesn't? I've never met a single person out there who's like, oh my gosh, like I can't stand any video game ever. Like everyone likes games to a certain extent. Everyone's played games on their cell phone. Everyone has. So everyone likes games. But I wouldn't consider myself a gamer though, because I don't keep up to date with it. I don't play all the new games when they come out. I very rarely play like games with a story mode or RPG type of games. The only type of games I've really ever played like extensively are competitive ones. Tournament fighting, Smash Brothers, Marvel vs. Capcom, Injustice, things like that. So competitive play type of games. I've never really gotten that much into the story type of games. So I've never played Grand Theft Auto, Far Cry, things like that. I just never have. So I don't understand these references. And that's why I didn't really want to do Arcade Block, because I was kind of worried that there would be a lot of these like small references that I would just have no idea about. And then the items are kind of wasted on me. But luckily, so far with Arcade Block, they've been good to me, and they keep it pretty general. Because I've definitely played games, I know the characters, I know all the Nintendo characters, I know the Sega characters. I've at least heard of things, so I recognize faces and names and things like that. So for the majority of it, like I'm always right on top of it. And I recognize all the classic Capcom characters and stuff, so to date there hasn't really been too much that I didn't really know about or appreciate. So, and I'm not complaining about this. This is the only one that's happened, so I understand why they would do this, because there are hardcore gamers out there that would appreciate this, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so many people have asked, like, why haven't you tried Horror Block? And it's the same reason. I like horror, I definitely like it, but I'm just not like super up to date on it. And that's not because I have anything against it. There's nothing wrong with horror. I totally like horror. But I just haven't, I'm not up to date with all the current movies, and I don't often see them, just because, you know, I don't have any friends that are into it really. I I don't know anyone else who is into it, and I wouldn't really want to go to a theater by myself to see a horror movie. So I just haven't been totally up to date on it because I only have so much time and I just haven't devoted any time to that. So that's part of the reason why I haven't done Horror Block. It's just that I just feel like there would be a lot of references in there that would be totally lost on me. And that would be such a bummer because it's good quality items. So that was my little rant. So I did not get this reference, so I really can't appreciate this shirt because I don't really know what it's saying. It fit decently. It's an okay shirt, but I don't like it by default because I just don't understand it. So I was kind of hoping things like this wouldn't come about, but I'm not surprised at all that they did because this is Arcade Block. It is gaming stuff. So for me, I didn't like that, but that's not at all a strike against the box. That's just me being ignorant and not knowing about these kinds of things. So it was still a cool item, though. Anyone who has played Far Cry would totally appreciate that and like that shirt. So that was just a little side tangent I had to go on real quick. Now we will continue with the rest of the box. Alright, the next item. We got a Street Fighter keychain. So this is really cool. And it has a light, and I didn't pull the tab out because I'm keeping it in, but it lights up and it does a little Hadouken sound. So we've actually gotten this item before. I was trying to remember where it was. Oh, it was in My Geeky Goodies. So I kind of dislike it when things like this happen, but you can't be too mad at the boxes for that. When you see duplicate items, it wasn't a duplicate in the sense that they put the item out before, but it was in a box very recently. So you can't be too mad about that, but at the same time, I feel like companies like this should be more aware of their surroundings, should be more aware of the companies around them and what they're doing. And I don't think they should take ideas from them and put them in their box. Because I have seen that some boxes will just look at other boxes out there, take their items and put them in their own. It's like, well, there's no real creativity in that. And if that's how it's going to be, why would you not just buy those other boxes instead? So I don't think this was intentional by any means. I don't think they stole their idea. So I'm not hating on the idea of that anyway. Because it is still a really cool keychain. I really did like it when I got it originally. But it's just a little bit of a bummer because I know lots of people out there do subscribe to more than one. Most of my viewers from this channel subscribe to at least one, if not more than one. It's very common for them to do that. So I just think as a side note, I think these companies should be more aware of what else is out there at any given time. Because it's just not hard to find something else. It wasn't like this needed to be in there. And I'm sure to an extent they knew that My Geeky Goodies put it out and it was popular, so they tried it out themselves. So not a big deal. It's not. I'm not being mad about it or anything, so it wasn't really their fault. But it's just always a bummer when you've already got something. So just in my personal opinion, if I were to ever do a box, like, I would obviously be aware of what's already been put out there and what people might already have. So it's just small little details like that where you can just tell, like, they're definitely putting in effort, but the effort does stop at a certain point because they're not doing the extensive research needed. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. People are still going to purchase the box anyway, but that little bit of extra research and effort might make a huge difference to some people. So I just feel like those companies should put in that little bit of effort because why not? Why not put a little bit of effort in and make everyone happy? But either way, even though this is a duplicate, I think I would have no problem selling this or flipping this because it is a really cool keychain. It lights up, it makes a cool sound, and I love the 8-bit Ryu. I think it is really cool. So it is actually a cool item, even though I already have it. So there it is. Again, another little rant. Next item, we have a little stress ball type thing. It's shaped like a joystick. So it says stress controller. Very funny. So it's just a little stress ball shaped like a joystick. That's okay. Cool. Fun stuff. Next, we have a teeny tiny little book. It looks like a Game Boy Color. Or actually, it kind of looks like the original Game Boy too. And when you open it up, it's got a bunch of little post-it notes. How nice is that? You got little skinny ones, a long tiny one, and then like big post-it notes. So this is actually really cool. When I first saw it, I thought it was a notebook, and I'm like, when am I ever going to need to keep little tiny notes? But basically this is just like a holder for some post-it notes of different sizes. And I kind of like that. I think that's cool because you have different types of Post-it notes that are just kind of like laying around, so it's nice to have them in a little container like that. So I thought this was pretty cool. I like that little notebook. Nice. And the last item, Batman Arkham Knight #1. It says arcade block in the corner, so I'm assuming that means it's an exclusive cover. So yeah, exclusive Batman Arkham Knight #1. Cool. It's a #1, which I appreciate. It's not just a random issue, so that's always appreciated. You can never like hate a #1 comic. It's always cool to have them, especially when it's a variant cover. So yeah, that was all the items in the box. Let's get into a value of this box. Alright, value time. So it's getting more and more difficult to value shirts. I'm trying to put specific numbers on there. I've stopped a long time ago giving shirts a general value because there's such a difference in quality and size and so many other things. Because when I first started, I was giving them all $15, no argument, but now things are evolving. Now I'm trying to give them more specific values because I think it's deserved. So a shirt like this, it had a cool design. It fit moderately. It didn't fit great. If I would have saw this in a store and tried it on, I wouldn't have bought it because it didn't fit well, but the design was decent. Now, I've recently learned that the person that owns Nerd Block and Arcade Block, that company, is the same person who owns Shirt Punch. So you'll have noticed you always get these cards in with your Nerd Block, and they're constantly advertising Shirt Punch. This card does all over it. It's because it's the same owner. The person that owns Shirt Punch is the same person that owns Nerd Block. So that's why you're always getting the Gildan brand, and you're always getting designs from Shirt Punch. He's essentially, when shirts don't sell on Shirt Punch, they put them in the block. For those of you who don't know how Shirt Punch works, basically they have like 4 designs or whatever number. It's a daily thing, so they'll put up 4 designs, and they're $10 a piece, but they're only up there for 1 day. Once they're gone, they're gone. There are a lot of sites that do this, but usually those companies still sell the shirts afterwards, just at a higher price point. As far as I know, this company does not do that. They have their designs for the day, and then they're out. So I can imagine if a shirt design doesn't sell well, that he just puts those right into the block, which is kind of a, I don't really appreciate that move, but I don't blame them at all for doing that. It's just a business strategy. Like, they're just trying to move product. That didn't sell. Which, having learned that, makes a lot of sense, because I've seen designs on Shirt Punch that are really awesome, really cool designs. Even the ones that are up there today are really cool. And then seeing the ones that we've gotten in the past, like Nerd Blocks and Arcade Blocks, they've been okay. They haven't been the best, but they've just been okay. So it definitely seems like we're getting overstock of what didn't sell. Like, what they have left over, I think, is what's being put in the box, which is kind of a bummer. But it is what it is. So anyway, on Shirt Punch, you can buy the shirts for $10. With shipping, that'll probably bring up to $12, maybe $15. Like, I'm not sure how much they charge for shipping. But the problem with that is they're only up for 1 day. So it's hard to value these shirts at $10 because you have to time it right. If you see a shirt that you like from Shirt Punch, you can't get it because it's already been on the site and it's already been taken down. So it's hard to value these at $10 because if you don't time it right, then you just don't get it. Then you have to buy it from a second party, which would charge more than that. So if you were to time it right, it would cost you at least $12 with the shipping, at least. So that's what I'm going to value these at, $12 to $15, because they're decent. They're not the best designs, but it would cost at least $12 to get it paid for and shipped. And to buy it somewhere else if you missed it, it would probably be closer to $15. So that's what I'm going to value these shirts at, $12 to $15 for both of them. Although I didn't love either of these shirts, and I definitely didn't like the second one because I didn't get it, I'm trying not to value it too much on my own personal opinion and more for the general audience. So, $12 to $15 on the shirts. Keychain. This is actually a really cool keychain. I really liked it. I think this would go for at least $8, if not $10, maybe even more than that, because it is really cool. It's a light, it looks cool, and it makes a sound. So it might even go as high as like $12. I personally wouldn't put it that high. I would say right around 8 to 10, probably closer to 10. I think would be a reasonable price. That's probably what I would pay for it. So, and that's also probably what I'd sell it for. So I think $10 would be a good price on that. And it is a really cool keychain. Next, our little stress reliever, our stress controller. It's basically just a stress ball. It comes in a nice package though, so we'll give it $5. It has an interesting shape to it, so I think $5 on that is perfectly reasonable. Alright, next, our little notepad. You know, this is pretty cheap. I could see like something similar to this going at a dollar store, but for this, like with the different types of sticky notes in there and in the little notepad design with the cool design on the front and it's a little hardcover, I could easily see this going for $5. Like I think that deserves like a $5 value. Probably not more than that, but I don't think too much less because it's practical and I really like the use of it. I'm totally going to use that. So I think that deserves like a good $5 amount. I think that's fair. And the last item, the comic book. This, $4. How do I know? It says it right there, $3.99. Although this was an exclusive cover, it's not that special. Like exclusive covers are just like exclusive Funko Pops these days. Like there's just a million of them. Every new comic that comes out, there's a billion different covers. The Star Wars #1, we got like 3 different ones from these boxes. There were 60 different covers for one comic, so it's just not that big of a deal to get exclusive covers anymore. So it's still just the value of what it says, $4. And that was all the items in there. So value on this box, on the low end about 46 and on the high end about 54. So meeting halfway, right about 50. So zero surprise there. That's very average for this company. Like I've said before a million times, Nerd Block and Arcade Block, and I'm assuming Horror Block, but I haven't got it, are right around 50. You pay 30 and you get right around 50. And that's pretty standard all the time. Everyone I've valued at, it's been right around 50, with the exception of, I think, 1. So that's just a heads up. If you're interested in it, that's about the value you're going to get, which is decent. It's not completely double. It's not quite 60, but you get a lot more. It's almost double. So from 30 to 50, I think is a good amount. The t-shirt designs are honestly just have never been the best. I've never really got a t-shirt from this company that has wowed me by any means. The most, they've just been okay, and they never really fit well because they do the cheaper brand stuff. So I'm just noticing more and more that we're getting rollover from Shirt Punch. Whatever doesn't sell on Shirt Punch is probably what you're getting in the box, which is kind of a bummer, which I don't appreciate. And that's another reason why I don't like the double t-shirt month, because the t-shirt's the thing in there that I'm like least excited about, because it's usually bad quality, the designs on it are just subpar, and it's always that Gildan brand. So I don't really appreciate the double t-shirt. This month, I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't like it that much. I think, from what I remember, I think Nerd Block outdid this one. And every month it's different. Nerd Block and Arcade Block switch places every single month. One's good and one's bad every month. And that's how it is for most boxes. You usually get one good month and one bad month. And it just alternates month in between them. So, on a rating of this box, I'm going to give it a 6, maybe a 6.5. Because you did get a decent value on it. You got some interesting items. Although it didn't work out for me, I'm not basing it off my own opinion. I think someone that is a heavy gamer would have appreciated the t-shirt designs, and someone that didn't get my geeky goodies would really love that keychain. So I didn't like this one a ton, but I still would give it 6 to 6.5 as a general rating. Now, as far as the scale for the monthly review, I don't think this one's going to be very high up. It got a decent rating, but I just wasn't super pleased with it, and I don't think it's going to be at the bottom by any means, but it's definitely not going to be at the very top. But then again, there are a lot of boxes to compete with this month, and March has been a pretty good month. I've got some pretty good boxes, so don't expect this one to be too high up on the scale. So, well, that's been Arcade Block. So I hope for better next month. I hope for more items and less t-shirts. I'm actually pretty okay if there's not a t-shirt in the box next month, but we'll see. So, this has been Arcade Block. We are almost done with the boxes for the month. We're almost there. I think I have 2 more videos I have to do, waiting on 1 more box to be delivered. So, we're almost there. We're going to tough it out. We're going to make it through this. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. See you in the monthly review. Love you all. Peace.